Welcome to the webinar today, Why 95% of Diets Fail and the 3 Best Ways to Beat the Odds Forever. I'm Dr. Susan Lavelle and I once was a diet junkie. Now I don't diet anymore and I'm going to show you how you can do the same. Let me ask you a question. How many of you have ever been on a diet? Type it into the chat box. Now, how many of you lost as much as you wanted, whether it was 10, 20, 30 pounds or more? And now, how many of you kept it off for more than a year? Those of you who dropped out are not alone. This failure of the billion-dollar diet industry is what we're going to talk about today. This failure is why, despite more people than ever being on a diet, obesity rates in the U.S. continue to rise each decade, and global rates have tripled since 1975. It's why you're watching this webinar today, because the diet industry has failed you. I'm going to be sharing with you how you can finally lose the weight you've been struggling with and how to do it safely in just 6 weeks without feeling deprived or doing strenuous exercise. The principles I'm going to teach you today are going to do that, and the before and after photos you see now are just an example of the results we're seeing with thousands of women and men in this innovative program. As an example, this is Miranda, who went from a size 12 to a size 6, her goal in just 6 weeks. And here's another client who dropped 30 pounds in 6 weeks. I'm going to share with you how Dr. Habib, a clinician himself, lost almost 70 pounds through this process. He was a chiropractor who, like many of us busy women, neglected his own health while taking care of others. He found himself tipping the scales at 250 pounds, plagued by high blood pressure and difficulty sleeping, among other things. But when he found out that he and his wife were about to have a little girl, he knew it was time to get his weight down and his health back. This program is how he did that, and is how he kept the weight off so that now he can enjoy his family and they can have him around for years to come. I show you this picture to give you an idea of my physical fitness in my 20s. I was a professional ballet dancer with the Dance Theater of Harlem and the Atlanta and Princeton ballets for 17 years. I was in great shape, but to stay that thin, I was constantly on one crazy diet or another. You name it, I tried it. Cabbage soup, fruit salad, whatever. I would essentially starve myself during the week and then binge on crackers and cookies over the weekend. I got away with it because of my youth and the hours of strenuous exercise I performed 5 days a week. But then, when the pain of ballet outweighed the joy, I stopped dancing and I went back to my first love, medicine. I applied, got into medical school at Columbia University in New York, and began to sit all day in classes. When I became a plastic surgeon, I was too busy to exercise to stay rail thin anymore. Or so I thought, so I stopped even trying. In other words, I ate like I did on the weekends while I was dancing, only I wasn't moving much at all. During this time, I got married and had 2 kids. Can any of you guess what happened? On the left is me, 10 years ago, 35 pounds heavier. Now I'm 5'2" on a really good day, so 35 pounds is a big deal. I had actually moved to Northeast North Carolina by this time and was really loving the fried chicken, biscuits, and cheese grits, but they didn't like me. I was tired, my joints hurt, and I had a habit of standing behind everyone else when it came time to take pictures, because as a former dancer and a current plastic surgeon whose job it was to help others look better, I judged myself for gaining that weight. This extra weight, combined with the inflammatory foods I was eating, the years of dancing on concrete floors, and the present lack of movement, resulted in me developing severe arthritis, eventually requiring bilateral hip replacements. I also had 3 blood clots in my legs over the course of 1 year, 2 of which went to my lungs, forcing me into the intensive care unit each time. And each time, recovery was just a little bit harder, and I felt myself sinking lower and lower. Shortly after the 3rd episode, I had absolutely no energy. Everything hurt. And then, as if that wasn't enough, I started having this mysterious itchy rash all over. It got so bad that I found myself rubbing up against wall posts and scratching my skin until I started bleeding. At this point, I knew it was time to get my health and my life back on track. Traditional Western medicine put me on high-dose steroids, but they didn't work, and so I started looking for an alternative solution. I started eating a paleo diet. I added yoga for both its flexibility and the mind, body, spirit part, and I lost most of that weight. I went to a personalized medicine provider who found out that I had food sensitivities, and I fine-tuned even more. But despite my now clean diet, I still struggled with losing that last 10 pounds. This brings to mind, why is it that so many people, especially women, struggle to lose weight? Let's get a little evidence-based science in. I promise not too much, though. A recent study surveyed over 1,500 people in the United States. They found that about 60% of Americans are currently trying to lose weight in order to be healthier, improve their appearance, and to live longer. Although most of those surveyed consider diet and exercise the most effective way to lose weight, this just doesn't jive with the fact that a significant number of those who are currently obese have made 20 or more attempts to lose weight through diet or exercise in their lifetimes. So, where would you fall in that survey? Whether it's paleo, low carb, low fat, plant-based, keto, vegan, or any other popular diet plan, what is often the basis of weight loss is simply calorie restriction. Each of them is essentially removing entire categories of food, and so initially weight loss follows. Unfortunately, though, being on a calorie-restricted diet can be very difficult on your adrenal glands, which produce cortisol in response to stress. Your body is smart. It's attempting to protect itself from the perceived threat of starvation, and it releases chemicals like this cortisol. This is part of the root cause of chronic weight gain, especially around the midsection. So is it any wonder that the additional stress of strict caloric restriction is in direct opposition to what people are trying to do? Lose weight. Then, when people add strenuous exercise to try to increase their results, what ends up happening is that the increased physical activity creates even more stress, which leads to more inflammation and a paradoxical weight gain in the body. So before we go any further, I want to ask you something. What's your number? How much weight do you want to safely and effectively lose in the 6 weeks? Write it down and promise yourself that you'll do it and that you'll keep it off. There's a reason for this that I'll share a little bit later. Because many people think that their weight loss struggles are unique to them, I want you to know what other people have tried to do so that you don't feel so alone in this process. We come across so many people that feel like they've tried everything, but then when they finally learn about this program, they realize that it's not true. There really is something that works, and that's to change your metabolism, because when your metabolism changes, your weight changes. What we hear a lot from our clients when it comes to their weight loss is that they try different popular diets that may or may not work for a period of time. And the focus of their entire weight loss strategy is only on eating less and working out more. You've been taught that same strategy for years, and while it does result in permanent weight loss for a small percentage of dieters, for the majority of people that process actually doesn't work in the long term. Have you ever wondered why most weight loss programs fail? Why is it that so many people are trying, unsuccessfully, to lose weight? First, most diets are cookie-cutter programs that don't take you into consideration. You as a unique human being, you as a person, you as a result of your environment, what you've eaten for years, your thoughts, even the people you hang out with. The reason you and millions of others have failed at losing weight and then keeping it off is because you haven't yet determined your one way that will not only make it possible, but easy to release that weight for good. And then the more mundane stuff. Because who wants to diet for months with only a few pounds to show for it? That's what usually happened to me. I would eat dry toast and vegetables for a month, struggle to lose 5 pounds, and then gain it right back when I started eating my normal diet again. Plus, I'd be hangry all the time. I'm not alone either. Several studies have been done on, for instance, what happens to contestants on those weight loss reality TV shows. The vast majority regain the weight they've lost and even more within a few years. What about you? What's been your experience? And what's going to make it different this time? The 3 things we need to do to quickly, safely, and permanently release weight are these. 1. Control hormones such as insulin and cortisol so that we don't hold on to fat. 2. Decrease inflammation in our bodies. And 3. Include diet variability and intermittent fasting to calm our GI system. When we do those 3 things, we actually reset our damaged metabolisms so that our metabolic fire, our Agni, as it is called in Ayurveda, the ancient Indian science of health, is burning brightly and appropriately. So let's start with the first thing we need to improve if we want to release weight permanently. And I say release because people have it in their minds that when you lose something, you can always find it again. And we don't want those pounds back, do we? So let's talk about hormones. How many of you have heard of low thyroid and how it affects your weight? Many, if not most, I would think. But take a look at this graphic. Did you realize that high stress levels lead to that higher cortisol we just talked about, which leads to higher insulin levels and lower thyroid function? And that higher insulin levels result in higher fat production and storage. We're not even going to go into what estrogen does today, but yes, weight is also affected. When we completely understand how intertwined our hormones are, it may seem miraculous that anything works properly. So when we add the effects of high levels of insulin and cortisol combined with low thyroid, we have the perfect trifecta of fat and weight gain. Try to balance one when the other 2 are out of whack, and the results are dismal. The second thing we need to control is inflammation in our bodies. Inflammation is a normal and necessary response of the body to trauma. Think about how your ankle swells when you twist it. This is the body bringing healing red and white blood cells to the area. Without inflammation, we couldn't heal. But inflammation is supposed to be short-term, temporary, and the body doesn't differentiate between physical, emotional, or mental triggers. So now there are situations when inflammation continues, such as when blood sugar levels are consistently high, or when, again, we're chronically stressed or not sleeping, or when we eat foods that our bodies don't like, such as processed foods. Chronic inflammation is one of the key factors not only of weight gain, but of fatigue and pain. The last thing we're going to throw into the mix to optimize our results is actually 2 in 1. Intermittent fasting and diet variability. How many of you have ever heard of intermittent fasting? It's gotten very popular lately and for good reason. Briefly, intermittent fasting, or IF, is any combination of lengthened times between eating. It can be hours during a day or days during a week. The benefits are believed to be due to allowing insulin levels and gut inflammation to decrease. And you just learned what those 2 things can do for your weight. The second thing is diet variability. This is because your body is designed to try to adapt to whatever gets thrown at it. That's why your muscles get stronger when you lift weights. But guess what? When you severely restrict calories for a long time, your body also adapts by lowering your metabolic rate, meaning you could be eating less and still not lose weight. This is one reason why the severe caloric restriction and exercise promoted on those television shows usually results in a weight rebound, often beyond the initial starting point. Now, you definitely don't want your body to adapt to extremely low food intake, so it really is a good thing to switch it up every once in a while. And that's why the 80-20 rule of nutrition is so valuable. Okay, now let's put this all together. Because all of these things dictate your weight and your health and your happiness. This is why I developed Premier Wellness, so that you can discover the one way of living that lets you be your best self, energetic, focused, happy, and productive. Our catchphrase defines the 4 pillars that make life transformation from the inside out simple and attainable. Eat well, move more, live wisely, and love divinely. RenewMD, the innovative metabolic reset based on those four pillars, is different because it looks at you and your metabolism from multiple dimensions instead of approaching from just a caloric restriction, intense exercise, and temporary weight loss perspective. So what would a 360 reset look like? What would a program that reset your metabolism by balancing your hormones, decreasing inflammation, and calming your GI system look like? What would be that ideal program? One that would support you to release weight permanently by finding your one way. First and foremost, for this to be permanent, it can't just be a physical transformation. It also has to be a mindset and emotional transformation. In other words, these changes are no longer a diet, they become your new lifestyle. This is when you are able to permanently release weight because now we're addressing and correcting the causes of resistant weight gain, not just the symptoms. And we're doing this by helping you discover your own unique way, not through forcing you into a cookie-cutter diet program that's the same for everyone. Because this is now your new lifestyle, you want to eat real food and develop easy, sustainable, and healthy habits. Shakes and protein bars are fine, but what happens when you stop using one? When you go out into the real world of power lunches and dinner engagements, you need to know what and when to eat that will keep you feeling strong and looking good. This program is perfect for those who are looking for permanent shifts and outcomes in their weight and metabolism and the ability to discern what's right for them in this particular stage of their life. Now, I don't know about you, but wouldn't it be nice if it also didn't require strenuous exercise to lose weight? So as a matter of fact, exercise is limited for 6 weeks during the program. How fantastic is that? We also all have busy lives. Who's got time to trek to a facility to get weighed and hear motivational stories? If you're like me, the more convenient, the better. And what's more convenient than connecting from the comfort of your home? Perhaps most important, we need a mindset change. Because like it or not, we're where we are because somewhere, perhaps deep inside, we have allowed ourselves to be there. Isn't it wonderful, though, that once we decide, we can change our minds and our mindset? So isn't it time to stop guessing and start knowing your one way? What's needed is a program that's going to transform your metabolism and your life and not just focus on a temporary number on a scale because let's face it, that number on the scale doesn't tell us everything about our health anyway. That's why we designed the RenewMD Metabolic Reset to help you discover your one way to energy, power, and health permanently. Let's take a look at the actual steps in the program. Now here's what's included as part of RenewMD. First, we take a very thorough history, and our focus is on looking at the entire picture of you. This is the beginning of the personalized focus, because you got to where you are in a very different way than anyone else. Once we know this, you're on the way to healing. It's been proven again and again that programs that provide support are many times more effective than those where you go it alone. So we provide you with accountability through our private Facebook group, through connecting with us on a weekly basis as you're going through this program. We also provide one-on-one coaching, which helps you transform the way you think. It helps you transform the way you look at yourself in the mirror. It helps transform the actions that you take and how you actually perform on a day-to-day basis. Coaching is powerful, and that's why it's included in this program. We also work on mindset because everything in your outer world is a reflection of your inner thoughts. For instance, if you think of your life as a car, your mindset is the steering wheel. So if you want to change your destination, we've got to change your mindset and the direction that steering wheel is turning. We're also going to teach you lifestyle principles that will not only help you, but help your entire family and the people you're surrounded by. We're going to rebalance your hormones because at the end of the day, the chemical messengers in hormones dictate the function of your body. Stress creates certain hormones. Happiness creates other hormones. Healthy sleep creates yet others. And poor sleep creates a whole different set of hormones and in differing amounts. When they're unbalanced, it's nearly impossible to lose weight. When they are balanced, they send the right signals to your cells and weight loss becomes effortless. We're also going to use the time-tested and extremely safe principle of intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting helps normalize insulin. Although you may know that one job of insulin is to lower blood sugar, did you realize that high insulin levels cause fat generation and fat storage? Every time you eat sugar, carbs, and protein, your insulin levels rise to varying degrees. When you eat or snack them frequently throughout the day, you expose your body to higher and higher insulin levels. This in turn kicks in insulin's fat-making and fat-storing action, making weight loss even more difficult. Intermittent fasting also gives your digestive system a break. And because your gut is the core of health, intermittent fasting allows you to heal because it allows your immune system to get a break. It also regulates and reestablishes a healthy hunger pattern, something many of us have lost. Fasting has been used in virtually every single culture for thousands upon thousands of years. We also focus on the microbiome throughout this process. Your microbiome is a total of all the bacteria, yeast, and other organisms in your gut, and they play a huge role in metabolism, food cravings, and whether you hold on to weight or tend to shed it. There's also a built-in reward mechanism in this program, which makes it, in addition to being fantastic from a results standpoint, also excellent from a psychological standpoint, which we're going to talk about in just a minute. You want support because who wants to do this alone? Not only do you get clinical calls with me, starting with an evaluation of your present diet, goals, and history, you'll speak with our life and spiritual coaches as well, because as I mentioned, this is a 360 approach to permanently releasing weight, gaining energy, and loving your life again. This support also includes a private Facebook group where we all share wins and losses, the weight loss kind. Throughout this program, you also get personal email support. Our team is here to support you to make sure that you see maximum results and success. We provide metabolic support drops that are going to help maximize your results by supporting your Agni, your metabolic fire. One of the features of these drops is that they help reset an important hormonal axis in your brain and body called the HPATG axis. Once we reset this axis, your stress response becomes normalized. Your thyroid function will become more normalized. Your stress response will not be off the wall like it may have been before because we're going to reprogram that axis. This axis controls virtually every hormone in your body, from the hypothalamus, the H, the pituitary gland, P, the adrenals, A, to the thyroid, T, and the sex hormones, which are actually gonads. They're all addressed through these drops. We're going to give these organs what they need so that they can function the way they're supposed to. We're also going to give you a probiotic that is going to work by optimizing your gut microbiome to support additional weight loss and bring your body to the size it was meant to be when it's healthy. And we've got a great strain of probiotic that's going to help you. We're also going to provide you with an organic coffee or healthy non-dairy creamer, both of which are infused with an adaptogenic mix of mushrooms. Adaptogens are natural substances which are believed to help your body, to support your body during times of stress. So they may increase your mood, they may decrease your mood, depending on what you need. You're going to enjoy this coffee in the morning. Part of intermittent fasting means that you're going to remove breakfast from your morning routine during your losing phase. We're going to replace your traditional breakfast with a fantastic mushroom spore-infused coffee with healthy fats. This is going to help support healthy immunity and a healthy gut microbiome. It's going to help support healthy brain function. It's going to help reduce inflammation. It's also going to help boost your immune system so that your immune system will now start addressing the threats to it. Mushroom and healthy fats have amazing scientifically proven benefits with respect to reducing inflammation and also improving outcomes. Plus, you're also going to get the Premier Wellness Lifestyle Guide. This guide is over 200 pages of priceless information about different ways to enhance your health and will be a wonderful resource going forward. You'll also get a 5-minute gratitude journal because we want to rewire your brain to start thinking of gratitude and awareness and abundance. The journal is an excellent way for you to start and end each day. Most people continue with it after the program because of the benefits they experience. We're going to teach you how you can start better understanding portion size. Most of us have never learned about portion sizes, and we have no idea what 4 or 5 ounces might look like, especially since meals in restaurants have increased portion sizes to 2 to 3 times or even more what's actually recommended. We'll also do a virtual kitchen inspection to ensure that you're set up for success. You get the RenewMD recipe book loaded with simple, easy, delicious, healthy, sustainable, and appetizing recipes that were lovingly created by a professional chef. The basis of this diet, in case you're wondering, is clean sources of protein, healthy fats, fruit, and lots of vegetables. In fact, there are certain vegetables that you can eat in unlimited quantities. You'll find that the diet is really delicious and sustainable. That's the most important part. It's also very satiating so that you're going to feel full because of the way you're eating. Most clients are surprised at how satisfied they feel after meals. And because we're also fine-tuning your gut bacteria and your hormones, your appetite is going to be in check. So you're not going to be having those cravings that you may be experiencing with other programs. As a bonus, I will be hosting a monthly live Q&A on Zoom, a video chat platform where we can get to know each other and you can get answers to questions you may have about the program. Women have found this invaluable as they proceed through the weeks. I've opened my calendar for the next couple of days to be able to chat with you about the program. Click the link below to schedule your time. We're only taking a limited number of people for the reset at once so that we can provide all the close personal attention that makes RenewMD so different and effective. Once again, this comprehensive, interconnected approach is what makes the RenewMD metabolic reset so effective and transformative. Most important, though, is how, just like Miranda, you're going to love looking in the mirror again and taking selfies. You're going to love letting go of 20 to 30 pounds in just 6 weeks, like so many of our clients have done. And you're going to love the increased energy, better mood, and the increased joy that's entered your life. So what happened to me after years of dieting? I finally lost that 10 pounds and I've kept it off. I stopped hiding behind other people in photos, and I found a new love, Water TRX, which is kind of like combining aerobics and strength training in the water. Best ever. There's one more bonus as a surprise. We said there wouldn't be any strenuous exercise, and there won't. However, you do want to keep mobile and flexible during the program, as this will help with fat mobilization. We're going to include a session with David Allen of Snacks Life Fitness to show you the best ways you should be moving both during the losing and the maintenance phases of the program. Here are some of the questions we hear all the time. Will this work for me? Because this program is personalized and works to reset your metabolism, when you follow the directions and take the guidance we have, you'll see the results. You'll have the support of our team as well as others in the program in our private Facebook group. It's the accountability aspect that makes the magic happen. Do I have time for it? This program is actually very simple to implement because we've taken the guesswork and the thought out of meal planning and food prep. In fact, you'll be able to eat an entire week on just 1 or 2 days of cooking, which will save hours of time. What if I get stuck or hit a plateau? This can happen as your body begins to adjust to its new metabolic level. And this is why we keep in close contact. Because if you go through 3 days in a row without losing, we make adjustments with you to get you back on track. Do I have to travel for the sessions? All of the sessions can be done virtually, so no need to travel. This is going to give you back lots of time. And what if I don't like coffee? If you don't like coffee, you can use the special mushroom-infused creamer in your green tea as a latte, for instance. So if you're ready to know if the RenewMD Metabolic Reset is right for you, click the button below to schedule a call. I've witnessed hundreds of women and men as they reset their metabolism through this personalized approach. Much of the joy I get in seeing how lives change because it's not just weight that's lost. It's gaining the energy to enjoy family when you want to. It's having the confidence to wear your slinkiest dress or most fitted suit and to know that you look good. It's not hiding behind other people in the group picture anymore. It's sleeping well and having less stress and just plain enjoying life because you found your one way. I look forward to speaking with you to find out if the RenewMD Metabolic Reset is the right next step for you. Click the button below to schedule your free breakthrough call today. My calendar is open for the next few days, and once those limited spots are gone, that's it. Click the button below to schedule your time. Once again, this is Dr. Lavelle, and I look forward to learning more about you and eventually connecting with you in the group. So go ahead, sign up for your free breakthrough call, and let's start on your journey to find your one way with the RenewMD Metabolic Reset today.